To start with my jewelry making process, I drew and exported these shapes from Adobe Illustrator. As you can see, some of the lines are red, some of them are black. The black are the outlines for the shapes that were cut in the 3D printer, or the laser cutter. And the red are the engravings. So I could put together designs like this diamond, where the lines here are engraved, yet it still keeps its shape. So here is the laser cutter. This is where I cut the plastic to put in my molds, as well as cutting the wooden pieces for my jewelry out of these pieces of wood that we have. So after I laser cut these plastic shapes out of the sheets that we have, if I can get one of these out, let's use this one. After we laser cut these, I put them into these putty molds while they were still malleable to create these shapes to pour the resin. For the putty, I used the Easy Mode silicone putty. I did attempt to use a mix of cornstarch and vinegar, but it didn't really work as well as I planned, so I decided just to go with the putty here. I also made some other shapes like these yin yang symbols, a teardrop, and a Sheikah eye symbol from The Legend of Zelda. Now over here are the prototype resin pieces that I made. They're not great, but these were the first attempts, essentially. They came out alright. I did have to do some patching, but this is what they look like. As you can see, there are a lot of bubbles since this was the first attempt and I didn't exactly know what I was doing yet. But in later attempts, they came out a lot smoother. Although I am still happy with this piece that came out, one of the yin-yang symbols. So after that, I also tried to get these shapes that I 3D printed into one of the molds, but I didn't have a mold that was thick enough, so I wasn't able to actually use these. But after that, I designed cards. So I laser cut some cardboard into these little jewelry card shapes with a little hole in them in case I wanted to hang them on something. And then I also printed and designed a design also with Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop for my cards. For these, I just printed them onto sticker paper and cut them out, and then just cut a hole in them. After that, I decided that I wanted to do some wooden jewelry as well, as I said earlier. So I cut shapes like these and also, again, designed them in Adobe Illustrator, such as these flowers. Most of these are earrings. And then these yin-yang symbols that also didn't really get used because I kind of wanted them to be smaller. I can show those in a second. But here is a completed set of diamond earrings, like the design I showed earlier. See that the red lines that translated from Adobe Illustrator are engravings here, and the black lines were still the outlines, so it came out with this hollow shape. And this is essentially one of the finished products. I also wanted to mention that these are the materials I used for my resin, the Amazing Clear Cast 2-part coating and casting resin. And for the coloring, I used this mica powder. So here are some of the finished products from my project. So up here on the top, I have 3 of my completed resin pieces, and on the bottom, I have 4 of my completed wooden pieces. So here I have 2 sets of star earrings, one in red and one in pink, and a set of red teardrop earrings. And then on the bottom for the wood, I have these rupee-shaped earrings, also from The Legend of Zelda. These yin-yang earrings based off of this design earlier, except they are a bit smaller, so they're not as hard to, attach and wear. These explosion-shaped earrings, which I thought was a good idea, might still be. And then these Buster Sword earrings from Final Fantasy VII. And then for my board, I stapled black velvet over a cardboard board to give it more of a jewelry display feel. And that is my project.